one thing I know. Making a claim that one Arizona Mexican food restaurant is the best, well, those are just fighting words. Today, we are going on a culinary tour across the state to share some of our delicious discoveries. Bring your appetite. Mexican food is on the menu. The tastes of Tubac reflect the Sonoran Desert from both sides of the Mexican border.
Mexico City is where everything is born when it comes to Mexican cuisine. I went to college in Guadalajara, Jalisco. So Jalisco and Mexico City, this is the cradle of Mexican cuisine in a way.
And Southern Arizona, the birthplace of a new fusion cuisine.
So I wanted to do that and bring something that they don't have here. I started in Nogales doing that, and when I came here, I really expanded my horizon, doing different things, and playing with, doing a lot of fusion, with a lot of, I like French and Thai and Japanese and Mexican. So I like to play with a lot of ingredients right now, you know, as long as you, but without leaving the Mexican scene.
Ruben Monroy is the chef and chief designer of Elvira's in Tubac.
Elvira, it's my grandmother's. She started this restaurant in 1927 in Nogales, Mexico, on the border with Nogales, Arizona. And so yeah, it became a travel destination through all the years for all these people who would used to go to Nogales, Mexico. You know, when you're in the business, you don't want to be in the business. So I went to college and I became an interior graphic designer. I wasn't too much interested in the business. But then, out of the blue, circumstances of life put you in this. So I ended up taking the command of the business. So yeah, I started to. And then obviously it's in your blood, and then you like it, and here we are here.
Ruben decided that the original restaurant needed a few changes.
I went to college in Guadalajara, Mexico, Jalisco. And when I came back to run the restaurant of my family, I wanted to change it because it was very updated. And when you're in design, you became kind of like a perfectionist in a way, because that's what it is in that career. So I started to remodel my family restaurant. Obviously, my father was not happy because you cannot touch something that's been there forever. And then you come from a big city and you touch it, they want to hang you, you know what I mean? He was mad at me. But then people started asking, what are you doing, Ruben? It looks very nice, you know? So my dad was very, very conservative person. Then he came to me and said, no, you're gonna start putting more things. That was funny, but then I knew he accepted it in a way what I was doing.
But then it was time to take his role a step further.
When you're living, your house is behind the kitchen, the restaurant, you learn how to cook very easy without the modern technicisms. So after being here and designing the restaurant, I wanted to bring more of what is real Mexican cuisine. So I went to culinary in Mexico City. And there I brought a lot of the ingredients that we use here, and I like squash blossom and corn truffle and different kinds of moles and different things that Americans are not used to it. So I brought all these kind of ingredients and different kinds of chilies, a lot of stuff, you know. But also I brought a different kind of Mexico when it comes to design, you know, because this is more modern Mexican. A lot of people think Mexico is piñatas and zarapes.
Elvira's is now an explosion of that eclectic culture.
I like to create spaces that take you somewhere when you have a long day and you want to go somewhere, I want to transport you to somewhere else. You know, have fun, and then you go back to your normal life. Culinary-wise, here, I think we all want to discover and keep discovering more recipes and things, and the more you play with them, the more you want to discover more things.
Every restaurant has a story. Sometimes you can read a condensed version on the menu. But much of the story of this ma and pop shop here in Camp Verde is told on the walls.
Just some beautiful memories of beautiful people.
Albert Ruiz brings those vibrant memories back to life inside Beto's Corner.
Beto just means Bert, and I am the PR guy.
I am the patrona, the owner.
Beto and Wanda are both fourth-generation Arizonans who grew up in the copper mining towns of Ray and Sonora, about 80 miles southeast of Phoenix.
I would shine shoes as a kid, and I would go from bar to bar, and there was always music going on, and it was an excitement, never a boring time.
Beto worked in the smelters, and like generations before him, eventually went underground to work inside the mine.
I sure learned a lot, and worked down as far as 4,700 feet.
Beto knew the work was dangerous and deadly, and depicts those memories in darker, less vibrant colors. Beto was eventually hurt in an explosion,
My corneal covers were scratched up pretty bad.
but he's much luckier than others.
We lost a brother too in the mines, so we've paid our dues.
After the accident, he and Wanda decided they'd do something different, together this time. So in 2001, they moved to Camp Verde.
We had a small hot dog cart. We couldn't find any place to park it, so I met a gentleman that owned this property, which was a canyon with a nice tree in front. And then we fed road crews to come and put dirt and fill in this canyon.
They were an immediate hit, but not so much for their hot dogs.
We would get down here and immediately the line started growing, and I would be out of burritos probably within an hour to an hour and a half. So that would be 60 burritos.
Then Wanda added tamales, and that's when they knew they had to expand.
So I said, let's build a little kitchen. We can store our stuff there, put a fridge. That just kind of snowballed. People would come up to the window. That became our drive-through window later. And then they wanted to eat there.
Now they have 2 dining rooms, along with that drive-through window. And while Wanda keeps the operation going, Beto continues to paint and tell his stories.
The mines ate up our town, and we don't have a hometown. And Camp Verde embraced us and took us in as one of their own.
Tell me about that car out front.
Oh, that's a special little car. This little red car, the 62 Nova convertible, drove by and came by, and I said, boy, that's the car of my dreams, a little red convertible. And my wife said, wait.
That's when Wanda flagged down the driver.
She came back and says, brought the keys and says, happy birthday. He says, you got you a car, the car of your dreams. And now I got my car of my dreams and the wife of my dreams.
And that little red convertible draws car lovers and a few celebrities to their corner of the world. Like the cast of American Graffiti making a pit stop on their way to Sedona.
I've been lucky I stumbled across it. I think there's one at Cheech and Chong somewhere.
But it's their loyal customers who make them most proud.
I took the shuttle up from the airport, had him pick me up at the drop-off station, and we hit Beto's first thing.
Kathy and Denny Waybright moved from Camp Verde back to Texas 10 years ago.
We used to eat here all the time, and we just crave it, so had to make a trip.
That's a long way to go to get your Mexican food fix.
We begged them, please, please come to Texas, but they won't do it, so we even offered to find a little place for them, but they wouldn't do it.
We're very much part of the community. And I think the community feels that this is their place. This is their special place to come.